Hi everyone, welcome along today to the latest of our webinar series, and it's really nice to have you all along. Um, it's going to be a really good one today. We've had a couple of weeks break whilst we've had the Adobe Education Institute last week, and we've had a few other things going on, but today we are going to be looking at Premiere, and in particular, my colleague Byron is going to be talking about AI tips and tricks with Premiere Pro. Now, if you've missed any of our previous webinars where we've been looking at lots of things like video in Adobe Express, for example, then I will put in the link to our YouTube channel and I'll drop that into the chat so that you can go and check that out as well. But today we're going to be focused more on the professional video side and looking at Premiere and some of those exciting new features that are kind of really revolutionizing the professional video side. So without any further ado, I shall bring in Byron. I will say, guys, if you do have any questions today during the session, feel free to drop them into the chat and we'll do our best to answer them. And if I don't know the answer, which I might not, I shall ask Byron to cover them. So feel free to come and drop in your questions. So yep, I'll just introduce Byron. Are you on there?
Thanks, Alistair. Great. Hi, everybody. Nice to meet you all. My name's Byron. I look after video for the UK, and my background is in editing and cinematography and color grading. My past life, I was a creative director, so I've spent a lot of time in editing applications and working through different workflows. The purpose of today is to take you through some of the really cool features that we have based around Sensei, which is our AI machine learning technology that's built into Premiere. And I'll show you a few little glimpses of what we have for generative AI and what we're producing to help you with your creative workflows. But it's really nice to be talking to the next generation of creative individuals, and I'm sure you will have a really good time with our technology. So without further ado, I'll just jump into as many of the Sensei AI features as I can cover in the time. We've got just under an hour now, but we'll work through all the different features. And if there are questions, please put them in the chat and Alistair will ask me as we go along. But yeah, be interactive, ask questions. If I don't have an answer, we can find out for you another time. Okay, I'm just going to turn my camera off here, save a little bit of bandwidth, and take you through a couple of different workflows and features that we've created. So part of my role is to work on new features with our enterprise companies. So I look after people like the BBC and ITV and Sky. And often, a lot of the time they've got interviews that come in and they need to edit the interviews quickly, whether it's for news, whether it's for documentaries, whether it's, any sort of talking head piece. So we've got an actual talking head piece here. And what I've done when I imported it in, when you go to the import window, what you can do is, let's say here we go to desktop. Okay, allow that. I've got some samples here. So you've got some interviews that come in. All you have to do is select one or multiple clips that you've got coming in where you need to transcribe what's being said, what's being spoken into text. And you can do that very simply in the new import window now. All you have to do is, in this section here, it says automatic transcription. You can turn that on. You can specify the language it's in, and we support up to 18 different languages. Bear in mind it's transcription, not translation. That's a different thing. So we're literally transcribing it into text. We can enable auto language detection. We can separate the speakers if you've got more than one speaker in the scene, and we can also have transcription preferences set here as well. So I've already brought these clips in, and what you'll see when you bring them in is when you open the text panel. This is the text panel. If you've not used that before, you'll find it in Window under Text Panel. And you'll see that what's been said in the interview has been transcribed into text. So if you hit play along any of the text.
Journey interview, take one, marker.
Okay, so that's just the clapper loader talking, but here we can just jump straight to where she starts talking.
Hi, my name is Journey Wu, and I am a sprinter.
And you can see that this window and panel and where the text is being highlighted syncs to the playhead in the viewer. So imagine how much time this could save you, because when you look through an interview, you're looking for certain phrases or certain parts where people start speaking. But looking at the text, I can immediately see when my interviewer starts speaking, when all the bit at the beginning where they're setting up is, and I can choose the bits that I want. So here I can see visually and quickly without scrubbing through my source footage, I can see where she starts talking. And let's listen to a few seconds.
Hi, my name is Journey Wu, and I am a sprinter.
Okay, so that's a good start. So all I have to do to edit with this is just highlight the bit that I want, and it automatically highlights an in and out point on your source footage. And then you can just drag and drop that or hit the shortcut key, which is just comma, to drop this onto the timeline. So now you can see I'm in the timeline. I've got that little section, and it's also switched the text view just to reflect what's in the timeline now. When I go back to my source footage, it jumps back to the source footage. So you can see very quickly that you can go through and you can edit your text together. So, edit your clip together. So we can look for another bit. I know she talks about being a soccer star, so you can type in soccer. Obviously, you know, even though you've got transcription, you don't want to not view the clip and see what it's all about and see where the good bits are. But it's a good little aid for your memory, because you can remember, oh, I remember this bit where she talks about she wanted to be a soccer star, and then you can just use the search field just to search for that section. So here she says, I wanted to be a soccer star, and my mum ended up tricking me into doing that. That's a nice little phrase and stuff. So I can just highlight that and drop that in. And let's find one more section. Let's say what she usually does. So in a typical day, we can say, well, let's bring all that bit in there. And that's what she does in a typical day. And let's just drag and drop that into the timeline. So you can do it however you like. So now it's in the timeline. What you can do is you can, if you want to remove a section, let's say this last bit goes on a little bit too long and we want to finish after she says the word school, you can highlight the bit that you don't want and you can just hit delete, and that just removes it from the timeline. So what we're doing here is just subtractive editing. So you can see how quickly you can just put something together.
I wanted to be a soccer star, and my mom ended up tricking me into do track and field so that I could get a scholarship and go to college, which thankfully for both of us, I did. So typically what I would...
Now obviously there's kind of gaps in the, sorry, not gaps, there's breaks in the edit where you cover it up with B-roll, but just imagine how much time you're saving just being able to go through. You may be working with a director or producer, and you can put this interview together very quickly. So I've gone a little bit further here and I've put everything together. And one thing that might happen when you bring an interview in, or if you've got several different speakers, is that the sound level can sometimes vary from sound bite to sound bite.
Put too much pressure on yourself. What good is winning if you...
So you can might be able to hear, but they're kind of different levels. So what we need to do is we need to get a consistent level for all the different bits of audio, and we can do that very simply now in Premiere by selecting just the audio sections, and we can jump into where we fix audio, which is the essential sound panel. So you see we've got all these different panels to allow us to do stuff. We've also got now access to music and sound effects through Adobe Stock. There's lots of free audio and free sound effects as well. In the edit section, this is where we can edit anything together. And because we've already tagged this as sound effects, then it brings up the controls for the sound effects. And what we need to do here is for something very simple. We go to loudness and we select this AI feature called auto match. And what auto match does, it automatically fixes the levels of all the audio across all the shots.
I think it takes a lot of encouragement and discipline. You can't put too much.
And you can see that it's got a, it's roughly, they're all going to about -9 now, whereas you might have had some that were a bit low and a bit high. So that's fixed all the audio levels for us, and that might have taken us a long time to do manually. And now what I want to do is just add the music track. So the music track here is just from Adobe Stock, but you'll notice that it's coming a bit loud.
I think it takes a lot of encouragement.
So you can hear that it's kind of overpowering the dialogue now. So what we want to do is kind of duck the audio every time Journey speaks on camera or off camera here. And the way we do that is we select the music. We identify that the music is music, and you can do that if it isn't selected just by using the AI feature auto tag. And auto tag will automatically know what kind of music that is, or you could put it in manually as well, up to you. And what we do here is under this section which says ducking, we turn the ducking on and we tell it to generate keyframes. So what it's doing is analyzing where the audio comes in, where she's speaking, and it's reducing the music to fit.
I think it takes a lot of encouragement and discipline. You can't put too much pressure on yourself.
Now, even though these controls use AI to do the work, you've got manual override control over it. So if you want them to be a little bit more sensitive in the way they work, you can increase the sensitivity. If you don't want it to duck as much, you want the music to come in a bit louder, you can move it to the left, or if you want a bit quieter, you can move it to the right. If you want to change the duration of the fade to be longer or shorter, you can do that. If you want to do the fade position, you can do that. And once you've made those little subtle changes, you can go ahead and generate keyframes again, and the keyframes magically fix themselves, so you can get different variations.
Yeah, enjoy it. My name is Journey Wu. I've been sprinting for more than half my life.
Now, speaking of music, another thing you might want to do is try out some different music tracks. So I'm going to mute this, and I'm going to go into my browse, my music tracks here. And one nice thing about the way that we've created this panel to browse the music that we have in Adobe Stock is that the playhead here is synced to the playhead in the timeline. So I can audition multiple tracks. I can filter through by mood. So maybe you want something that's quite dramatic. Maybe you want a genre of music. Let's choose some sort of electronic music. And maybe you want a filter for, you've got free or premium or a tempo to see what kind of tempo you want. So let's try a few of these.
I think it takes a lot of...
Okay, so maybe we'll like that one. Try this one as well. Okay, I like this one. So what we can do is we can bring this one in, and what you'll notice when you bring in audio tracks sometimes is that they're way too long for the piece that you've created. So what you usually do is just chop out the bit that you want to keep, and you have to make some cuts, and you have to find out, the bits that you like and see if that works. But it's hard to kind of fade it out at the right point. So to fix that, we've got another AI feature which is hidden away with the ripple, rolling and rate tool, and that's called the remix tool, and that uses AI to remix the music for you. So if a music is too long, you can make it shorter, and it will analyze the music for tempo and beats, and it will essentially do the mix of that piece of music for you. And you might be able to see that there's some little zigzag lines on here, and what those represent are where the music has been mixed, and what you should hear is nothing out of the ordinary, really. Let's just take the levels down a little bit here, and you should notice that there's no kind of beats in the breaks or beats in the music.
A lot of encouragement and discipline. You can't put too much pressure on.
Okay, and then all you need to do is just go to our ducking controls and generate keyframes again. And now you've got a new piece of music. You haven't had to keyframe it. You haven't had to remix it. Or you hit the remix key.
I think it takes a lot of encouragement and discipline. You can't put too much pressure on yourself.
And that way you can audition different bits of music, and it doesn't matter if they're too short, you can make it longer. If it's too long, you can make it shorter. But again, a huge kind of time-saving feature. The next feature I wanted to show you, we've got kind of carrying on in the sequence, is we've added some subtitles here. So we took the speech to text, and all we did inside the text view, if you want to know how to do that, is just to go to your transcript here, and there's a button that says create captions. So once you've got everything edited in the timeline, you click on the create captions and it automatically generates the captions for you. Let's just make this a little bit smaller. So you can see now you've got captions built in, and that just comes as another track, so you can hide it or show it. But you know, sometimes you want to have some nice captions in. Moving on from this, in the future, we're going to have the ability to translate those captions into different languages as well, which will help you market your videos on YouTube for different geos, or just have, you know, different language versions, which is useful.
Takes a lot of encouragement.
Okay, so that's good, but what I want is I need to have a version for my Facebook. I need to have an Instagram stories version. I might need a TikTok version. So, you know, it's in the wrong format for all of those different versions. So what I can do is I can use this little shortcut trick of just say reveal the sequence in the project to get me to the sequence. And then all I have to do is right click or control click on there, and I get my little contextual menu. And all I have to do is just say auto reframe sequence. And what that will do is it will pop up a dialog box, and that dialog box will give you an option to change the aspect ratio. So let's say we want to have a square version for Instagram. You know, we've also got the horizontal version for you know, maybe you want it for YouTube. You can have vertical 4:5 or 9:16 for TikTok or Facebook, and you can go ahead and hit create, and it will create a new sequence for you. So don't worry, it won't destroy your old sequence, but it will. You can see it's cropped it, but it's done more than cropping. What it's done is look at the content in the shot, and it has. I'll play it through while I'm talking. What it's done is it's following the action in the scene. So when the actors are in the scene or when there's some action, it uses eye gaze technology to put what's the most important part of the shot into the scene, into the aspect ratio as best as possible. And because we've done the graphics as well, inside of Premiere, automatically dynamically moves the captions to the right place, so everything fits. So imagine having to do this by hand. It would take you know, you a lot of time. So just to show you there's nothing up my sleeve, I take the same sequence, and if I just reveal that in the project, and if I say, okay, I've done my square version, and I'll do an auto reframe, and this time I'll do it for a vertical version, let's say 4:5, and hit create. Now it's done a vertical version for me as well, and I can go ahead and do my multiple versions. So I'll have several different versions that I can use and then output to my different platforms. So that's another feature called auto reframe. Auto tagging I've kind of showed you, but here we've got the same sequence, but this time if we look at the essential sound and we click on a few things, you can see I haven't tagged anything, so we haven't got any of the controls coming out. So all I have to do is just select everything and say auto tag, wait a few seconds, and it's analyzing the different types of audio. So if I click on that, you know that that's the speech, that's sound effects, that's the music. And as I do that, it gives you the relevant controls to adjust the different bits of audio that's in the timeline. So it does that again using AI. That's just it, really, very quick and easy. Auto ducking I've shown you. Enhanced speech is another new AI feature. So if you've ever had the audio come in and your microphone's died.
Hi, I'm Keelan Matthews.
And all you're left is with is the audio that comes in from the camera mic, and you need to definitely recover this shot because it's really important. This is the only place where he introduces himself, but the sound is so poor. So to enable you to fix that, the first thing you need to do is just go into your gain controls and maximize the gain. You can do that to normalize at 0 dB. You can adjust the gain here. So that's just G on the keyboard to fix that. And that's just normalize the gain. Actually, let's just adjust it to 0 dB. Okay, so that's now a bit louder, so we've got more kind of stuff to work with, but it's still sounding rubbish.
Matthews, and I'm a track coach.
And then all we have to do is go to, we can do it two ways. You can right click and you can go to the option to enhance the speech, enable enhanced speech, or you can see we've got the same option over here in essential sound. Let's do it this way because, you know, it's quick and easy, and enable enhanced speech. And now it's analyzing the audio and it's working out, you know, how to best fix it. Once it's done, then you've got manual control over it. So I'll leave it at 7. You can hear the difference.
Hi, I'm Keelan Matthews, and I'm a track coach.
Okay, it's a little bit hissy, so let's move it up to about 9, let's say. Let's see how that's fixed it.
Hi, I'm Keelan Matthews, and I'm a track coach.
So you can see a huge difference. I'll do before and after. So before.
Hi, I'm Keelan Matthews, and I'm a track coach.
And once the enhanced speech has been applied.
Hi, I'm Keelan Matthews, and I'm a track coach.
So you can see you can go in through and fix all your audio. You've got other options here for clarity. You've got different presets you can use as well. So if you want to have some sort of vocal presence, you can. If you want to have dynamics, you can turn the dynamics on here, and we can analyze that, and you can get a much more kind of rich.
Hi, I'm Keelan Matthews, and I'm a track
voice. But that's a great way to kind of save bad audio. Moving on from that, we have another area which you can fix stuff. I don't know whether you've had to record anything in a studio, and sometimes it can come through a little bit echoey.
Bag.
So let's just put the original on here so you can see.
My name is Valentina V, and I'm a cinematographer and
Let me just reset that. Okay, so this is the original.
Hi, my name is Valentina V, and I am a cinematographer and director based in.
So you can hear that there's lots of echoes bouncing around the room, and we want to sound it like, you know, we've recorded it in a professional studio. And this is another thing that enhanced speech is good at, is to make it sound like it's been recorded in a high-end studio. So I can do a preset for like a podcast voice, and I fixed it here. Let's enhance it here again. We can adjust this amount here. And now we hear the difference.
Hi, my name is Valentina V, and I'm a cinematographer and director based in Los Angeles. In front of me, you have the contents of my Diddy bag.
So you can hear now it's taken all the kind of echo and kind of bad stuff in the recording out and made a much cleaner version. So again, if you just record stuff and you just want to clean up your audio a little bit, then it's a great little tool to use. So that's enhanced speech, another one of our Sensei AI technologies. Now we're going to have a look at something simple where you might have been given a sequence that's all self-contained. So it's one long clip. And this is the only kind of version you've got, or this is the only version you've been sent, and you might need to kind of recolor grade this or something. And you can't really do that with everything is one long clip. So you need to chop this up. So imagine what you'd have to do. You'd have to play through, and you'd have to find the point where very carefully where there's a change in the scene, like here, and you'd have to use Command K to put a cut point in, and then you have to play through again. You'd have to pause. You'd have to go frame by frame until you find the next cut point. You'd have to put another thing in. You get the idea. Very, very tedious. Let's undo that and let's just do it the sensible way, which is right-clicking on the clip and choosing Scene Edit Detection. We can apply a cut at each detected point, create a bin of subclips if we want to. If you want to rearrange your story and make a different type of edit, we can have that on. You can even create clip marker points at each point as well if you want to. And then you just go and hit Analyze, and quicker than you can talk and say, you know, job done. It's gone through and it's cut those clips up for you exactly where you need them. If you want to do what we call a sanity check and make sure it has exactly cut them in the right place, and I haven't had it fail on me now, what you can do is if you go back one frame, then it should be different. If you go forward to the cut point, it should be a different shot, and if you go forward again, then it should be the same shot. So that way you know very quickly just by going back and forward 2 frames that the cut points are in the right place. So that's really useful if you want to kind of do any sort of color grading or anything like that to the scene. And let's actually now look at a little bit of color grading. And I'll show you a couple of AI features that we've got to allow you to do this as well. So usually when you do color grading, you need the Lumetri panel. Let's close these down. So we've got a nice clean interface. And the Lumetri panel gives me all my controls for color grading, and they work in the order that they're presented here. So you've got your basic correction, you've got your creative controls, you've got curves, which are really powerful for creating looks. You've got color wheels and match to allow you to match between shots. You've got secondaries if you want to isolate a color, and vignetting as well over here. So in this section, I'd go to my creative and I'd put on the LUT, which transforms it from the flat looking image to the film profile. So I know this was shot on my on the Arri camera, and you can see as I've added that in, it's come in quite strong, and you've got a nice little slider here that allows you to slide the amount. And the reason I put it in the creative section is that I can go up back to the original basic correction level, and if I want to recover some of the highlights in the back, I can just use my highlights to bring back some of the detail. That's useful. But if I don't know anything about color correction, I just want to try and fix it quickly, or I'm rushed for time, I can just hit auto and it will automatically do the settings for me here, and then I can make some slight tweaks. Let's bring back some there. Let's go in the shadows here. That's looking pretty good. And what I can do is I can copy that, I can select all, and I can just paste that to the other shots as well. So in one quick move, I've very quickly gone through and I've balanced all the shots for me. And now I want to go ahead and create a look. So in that, for that, I'll need to go to something. We can create looks anyway. You can create a look here. You can create like a nice faded film look, so it looks more like print. You can add some tones into the shadows. If you want to do that teal and orange look, you can just move that into the teal and move that into the orange, and you can get kind of a nice kind of Hollywood style look. Let's reset that. I don't want to do that today. You can adjust saturation or sharpening in creative. But what I want to do is use my color wheels, and I want to set this as my hero look. And I've got adjustments here to adjust the shadows and the midtones. So I'll bring those up a little bit, and the highlights here, let's keep the highlights low. Let's move the shadows a little bit more into let's go blue here. It's more kind of blue tones, and let's move the mid-tones more into here. Let's create a very kind of strong look so you can see it. So that's kind of a nice look and feel. This is how it looked before, this is how it looked after. So I've made a really kind of stylistic choice, and what I want to do is I want to have this shot match this shot. And we can do that again using our AI technology. If I go to comparison view, and I've got a comparison view in my view here as well. I'll just make this a bit bigger for you. And all I have to do is move my reference. You can see here on the left, it says reference. So this is what is going to be my hero shot. This is my hero shot here. Let's actually make it a bit more pink like this, for example. And I want to have that look applied to this shot here. You can see it's quite different. And if I just hit apply match, I've got face detection on, so it's got faces in. It will use AI just to go ahead and balance those two. If you missed it, this is before and this is after. So you can now see that there's a nice balance between these two shots, and you've got other shots that have been filmed at the same time of day, same sort of scene. Then you can use the apply match to balance those. You might need to do a little bit of tweaking depending on the kind of shot it is, but if you want a nice consistent look and feel across the whole sequence, and that's really what you want to do with color grading, is you can use that auto match feature. Let's just jump this back into single view to create a consistent kind of look and feel across everything. So maybe you're not a colorist, maybe you don't know where to start. Just using these simple shadows, midtones, and highlights, this is the only section you need to use to create a look, and then you use the apply match. But fix one shot first, copy and paste the LUT to everything, and then use the comparison view to apply that look and feel. On top of that, you can add things like a adjustment layer. And adjustment layers are useful if you want to try out some different looks. So you might say, okay, let's say use this adjustment layer. Turn on the visibility here. Let's reset that because I think it had another look on it. Maybe I want to see what this looks like in black and white. So that's my black and white adjustment layer. And then that gives me one version. Then I can copy that. And let's say I want another adjustment layer. And in this adjustment layer, let's say we want to use, we'll reset that. And in this one, we want to use the curves. We might want to do like a more kind of high contrast type look. And we might want to take out some of the reds, make it a little bit more green, and maybe add, so remove a little bit too much green, maybe a little bit of blue, make the sky a little bit more blue. So that's a different look. So you can use these adjustment layers to create different looks, and you can just try out these different looks. You can combine them as well if you want to at different blend modes, but it's just something else you could try just to try out different styles. So we've used the AI auto button here. And again, that's something else we could do. We could just apply that to an adjustment layer and just say auto, and that will give us a nice kind of look and feel across everything as well. So that's sections AI, and also the color wheels and match, the auto, the color match option, that's using AI to balance between shots as well. So those are, if I covered all the features, yeah, I've covered them all. So those are all the AI features. Just to recap what we have, going from the beginning again, what I've shown you. So I've shown you speech to text, where we've brought in the clips, and we've used our text panel here to make the edit, just using the original source audio that we've changed into text. Here we've shown you how to do the auto reframing and auto tagging, shown you the AI-based ducking to duck the music, and also to enhance the speech and balance it all, we used auto match. We've got enhanced speech here to allow you to make the bad audio sound good. And as I said, you can do it for audio that's been recorded at a low level, or for audio that has some sort of distraction in the background. Here it was a bit tinny. You might have audio that's shot in traffic, and you might need to get rid of the traffic noise. You can use this. We've got the scene edit detection, which is using AI to find out where the shots change. And it doesn't just kind of look at, you know, the differences in scene. It analyzes the whole image and actually figures out if there is objects in the scene that are different from one area to the other, and it makes the cuts for you. And finally, I've shown you the auto color and auto match. Allows you to do color grading very quickly, and we're continuously improving the color grading engine to make it simpler and more effective, and you'll see that in the next couple of months as well. So that's just been a quick tour. I'll just pause there. Alistair, any questions?
Yeah, I can't see any questions in the chat yet. There's a few comments. People were loving the enhanced feature on the audio there. I think that was really impressive. I've been really impressed myself actually by some of the features you've been showing. Really amazing stuff. But
Cool.
if there are any questions that people have, please feel free to drop them in chat. Or if you've got a more complicated question, then let me know, and I can see if I can unmute you even. I'm not sure if I can, but do let us know, and put any questions you've got into the chat, and Byron will be happy to answer those.
Cool. Let me show you a couple of the new features that we're working on then, while you're thinking of some questions. So where should we start? There's a couple of videos that I want to take you through. Let's start on this one here. So let's go full frame. So I'm just going to scroll through this. This is a couple of videos that we put out publicly just to show you what we're working on in our labs and what's coming to the next version of Premiere, or a future version. One of the things that people have wanted to do a lot is use Gen AI to assist in their productions. So one of the asks that people have had is being able to add elements into a scene. So in this shot here, we've got a suitcase with some diamonds in, but obviously it doesn't look very impressive. It looks like a few. So we might want to use AI to add an object, and we can choose add object. We can position where we want to add some objects, and we can use Adobe Firefly, and that's our engine for creating content that's been trained on our Adobe stock. We just type in a prompt, so a pile of large diamonds, and it goes ahead and generates different versions for you, and then it fills it into the space that you've selected. So we can use assistive AI to add elements into a shot that were not there before. And these, as you can see, are actual outputs generated by Adobe Firefly, just to show you we haven't done this in something like After Effects or, made this up. These are actual, what you're seeing here is actual output from our Firefly engine. Another thing people want to do, and I've had to do this a lot as a colorist and an editor, is that you've got sometimes quite what we call dirty shots, and you've got things in the shot you want to remove. So all this stuff here is just a bit distracting. The number of fire exit signs I've had to remove is into the thousands. So, that's usually quite a processor intensive task or a person intensive task. What we can do here is we've got a new option, allow you to kind of magic wand select people or things. So in this case, we want to remove this, and we can just say remove object, and it goes ahead and removes that object for me. So I haven't had to take it into another application. I've just used that remove object feature to remove stuff. Here you can see another use for it, where you might have a sign. Maybe this was done in your school or something. You've got signs that says, cafeteria or something. And in this is the after, where we've just removed that sign. Another kind of great use for it. Scrolling through a bit more, maybe you've had the instance where somebody's left something in shot, like some cables here or a coffee cup or something, and you haven't noticed it, or the cinematographer hasn't noticed it. Things like that you can quickly remove as well, just to make the shot seem a bit better. Also things like replacing watch faces. You can do this if you want to. What do we want to do here? Oh yeah, we want to add some objects. We want to add a tie to this guy to make him a little bit smarter. So again, we can use that to object addition to add a few clothing elements. Maybe we want to change the color of his jacket or something. Here we've just added the tie-in, so some incredible magic like that. What's the section here? Oh, this is the if you reach the end of the clip, and sometimes you need a few extra seconds to do a transition, or you might want to add a little title at the end, a little bit longer or something like that, but you just physically haven't got enough footage. So we've got a new feature called Extend Edit, and that allows you to just use Firefly to extend the video and the audio portion at the end by 2 seconds. It will go ahead and generate, and it will generate that few extra seconds for you, which could save your edit. And I'll show you a demonstration of this. It's actually in our beta at the moment, so that's the first feature that we've kind of released into the beta for you to try. Another thing that you can do is, well, another thing that we've kind of working on is working with third parties. So people like Sora or Pixar or Runway. Hopefully we can kind of work with them to use their engine to create kind of content as well as Firefly. So you can have a choice of different engines you might want to use. So this is just using their Runway engine to create some kind of background that you could use just to add some extra B-roll to your edit. Oh, so that was Pika. This is Runway, where we're adding some kind of more content into when they're driving the car. And also here, there's just another thing we're adding is just where I said before, where they can change the color of something. You can do that as well. Now, all these things that we add, we're going to have content credentials, so you'll be able to see, or the person, if you want to track it back, and you can see what exactly has been created with generative AI, because sometimes people need to know, that what's been used to create what. Here we've kind of got content credentials stamped on it, so people will be able to see the kind of path of the Gen AI we've used to create this content. So we've shown you the object addition, object removal, generative extend, and our future explorations with a few of our third-party partners as well. Any questions about that?
So we did get a question come in, and it was, what's the best way to learn Adobe Photo, Video, Audio, and post editing? And I'll maybe start answering that, and
Mhm.
Byron, you can chip in with your more specialist knowledge around video. But we do have a digital badging scheme, and what the digital badging scheme does is it gives you a digital credential for doing a short course in some of the Adobe digital skills. Um, so I'll drop it. I've already dropped into chat, but I'll put it in again, the link for that. These courses are about 2 to 2.5 hours long each, but they're split into like 15, 20-minute chunks. And there is a short assessment at the end. And you'll, once you pass the course, you're given a digital credential that you can, use in LinkedIn, put on your CV, so you can demonstrate the skill that you've learned. And we do have some that cover video on there as well. So definitely, I'll put the link in there for the chat, Vanuja, and you can have a look at that. So that's my contribution. Byron, what would your advice be for people who want to learn some of these skills?
I would say like the kind of most affordable one where it's free is if you go onto YouTube, and if you look at a couple of our influencers, there's people like Premiere Gal, or even if you go to the Adobe site, we've got an Adobe audio video channel, and we post up tons and tons of tutorials, webinars, guides on how to learn any of the audio video tools. Of course, you've got, the ability to do a course. You can go on LinkedIn Learning, many kind of online courses and stuff. But I'd say start off on YouTube, tons and tons of free content. Look at people like Premiere Gal, Premiere Bro. Look at the Adobe channels. That's a good place to start. Valentina V has got a beginner's guide to editing. She's one of our influencers. So we get people, our influencer people actually use our products in the field. They're social media content creators, they're filmmakers, and we get them to talk about how they use our software, because it makes more sense than getting someone from Adobe who's a designer or engineer, or somebody like that, to talk about the features. You can actually see them, as they're being used with one of our influencers. Answer the question?
That's great. Thanks very much.
Okay. Let me show you a few.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry.
Go ahead, Byron. No, go ahead.
All right, I was just going to show you a couple of the other things that we've got coming. I've got just these two more videos just to quickly go through. So the feature that's in our beta at the moment is called Extend Edit. And we've got a little video here just to show you how that works. But essentially, you can just stretch the end and it will go ahead. It will take 2 or 3 minutes to generate some more content, and you'll get that extra bit of footage at the kind of same quality as your content. Rather than showing you the video here, I'll just jump into here. So here, for example, in the bottom, I've just got the original clip. You can see if I just go and try to extend the clip, there's no more room. It's just, part of a film where she's found a ring, and we need a few extra seconds because it was a little bit short. So on this top layer here, what I've done is I've used the generative extend, and you can see the bit where it says AI extended. And if I play it through now, you shouldn't really see anything different other than it's a longer shot. And you could move into this shot. So now if you need to add a kind of transition in or something like that, you've got the extra frames to allow you to do this. And that tool is in the beta. If you want to download the beta, you're more than welcome to. You just need to go to your Creative Cloud app, go to apps, go to beta, and then download the beta. You can see that you can have both the beta open as well as the shipping version, and there's no kind of there's no disruption to either application. All you need to remember is if if you're using the beta version, remember to save your project with something like beta at the beginning, so you know that the project is the one you've opened in the beta, just to keep it different from the shipping version, so you don't mix your projects. But it's good to try out different features like the Gen AI features. They're all for free. They're all built in into here. So anything new that we release will be in the beta. And then finally, we have text to video. So I'll show you a video here of what text to video is. So this is in addition to, we've got Firefly model text to image, which allows you to type in some text and it generates an image. With text to video, we pretty much do the same thing. You can just choose the motion type. You can choose a scene. All you have to do is describe accurately the scene. So here's a dramatic dolly zoom camera effect of this woman putting on some glasses at night. I won't read it all to you, but you just put in the prompt and hit generate, and it generates a 5-second video, hopefully with exactly what you've put into the prompt. So, you know, if you want some B-roll, it's good for that. Here we've got some lava, some fireworks. It's really good with animals. If you want to do like close-ups of stuff, you can do close-up. So just think of this as where you need a shot very specifically, and you can just use Firefly to generate those 5-second shots for you to add into your sequences. The other thing that's good at is doing little things like animations. So if you're doing marketing videos or something, you can do some quite fancy kind of creative stuff, just using really surreal little characters and stuff you can use. Here we've got, you know, just additional content. So it's a little bit like extend edit, but you can add another shot into there. You can use it for backgrounds. If you want to do some green screen work or visual effects work, here we've got some kind of liquid or smoke on a green screen, and you can add that into your project, and you can composite that in with After Effects or with Premiere to create some kind of nice backgrounds or motion graphics. You can add text as well. So if you want to have like a nice kind of bit of text that's animated, or maybe you want some just background logo or something, you can use Firefly to generate some text like this. If you have got an image, maybe you've got a photograph, maybe you've got some licensed stock, you can throw it into the image well, and you can tell it to animate the image. So you just hit generate, and it will go ahead and it will animate the image. So you can see this was animated so it zooms out of a human eye, things like that. It's really good at. And also here, just an example of, again, extending the edit. We just need to fill that gap. So you can just add a few extra seconds before you do the cutaway. Lots of different uses. A lot of people just want to kind of take a still and animate it, or just find some B-roll, but I'm sure you're creative enough to kind of find some uses for it. This is going to be available for beta in January. It'll be a public beta, so it'll be free. And it gives you kind of the opportunity to try it out and create some video content. And that's it. That's all I've got to show you today. Hopefully it's been useful, giving you a little bit of kind of roadmap from us, just to say, just to show you what we're kind of working on. So I'm open for questions now.
Thanks so much, Byron. That's really great. Yeah, Dawn, they're just saying that she's on the waiting list for the Firefly video beta. Cool. Looking forward to that. Yeah, if there are any other questions, just pop them into the chat or into the Q&A if you prefer. That's absolutely fine.
Well, let us know what you want to see next time as well. We're kind of, you know, interested in what you would be actually helpful for you to either, you know, look at detail and more of the features, or maybe we can do a next session around Firefly for video and we can show you how to do that. Maybe you just want to look at text to image as well. If you've not played with text to image, that engine, I think it's up to 4th model now, and it's amazing what you can do. Let me just show you. Can I just show that quickly?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Edward, by the way, was just asking is there a link to join the waiting list? Like how do you do that, or is it just coming out in January?
No, if you look online, if you just do a search for generative video, there's a generative video blog from Adobe. Then off that blog, you'll see that there's a link to join the waitlist. But you should have it. You should have it by January, and you should be able to just jump on. So this is text to image. This, for example, is where you put in a prompt here, and I wanted to have this kind of hippo kind of being a DJ like this, and you can use these images to drop into text to video, and you can create a little bit of motion from that. Or you can use this, if we go back here and you look at the gallery, we've got a gallery here. So these are the types of output you'll be able to get just by typing in some text. So if you're looking for, a marketing image, or if you're looking for some nice artwork for something, then these are a couple of the good examples. If you click on any of them, they take you directly to that image, and you've got an option here to try the prompt. You can see what the prompt was. Happy giraffe in a winter wonderland. You can say try the prompt, and it will generate 4 other images for you. And you're in a really easy controls over here, so you can change the aspect ratio, you can change the composition, you can add elements, you can add different styles. You can, if you scroll down here, you've got different art styles. So if you want to try out a different art style and see what it would look like as, I don't know, some maybe a comic book, you can add those keywords in here, and you just hit generate again, and it will generate another 4 images for you in a different style. And it's really, really fast to do this. And then you can just download them or upscale them and make them a little bit more sharp and use them in different projects. But again, it's assistive stuff. It could help you with some ideas or brainstorming or putting a mood board together, or even putting something like a storyboard together.
Yeah, it's brilliant. And also in Adobe Express, you'll find a lot of these generative AI features as well, where you've got text to image, we've got text to template, and then we've got the generative text effects, as well as the content fill as well. So a very accessible way to get into that. Now, one great suggestion we've had from Don there is maybe we could do something around prompt craft. Would be great for a further session. And I think that's one of the big skills. That's one of the skills I think of AI is, how to build that perfect prompt, or how to build good prompt basically. And I've seen various approaches to it. So I think that's a really good suggestion as well. Yeah, and we are going to be having another series of webinars in the new year. We still have 2 webinars to go in this series, so there's 2 next week, folks. So have a look on the links. But yeah, I think for next year, definitely we will do more. Maybe not entirely about prompts, but we definitely have more planned about generative AI for next year.
So then another comment in saying one of our biggest time savers is uploading 360 videos to Express and then using the background remove, I guess, to remove the tripod in seconds. So it's not the big things, it's usually the little things that save you a lot of time. We're kind of working on those, but let us know what you like as well. Not just what you need, but it's good to know that we're kind of giving you features that you want to use.
Definitely. The things that I used to take a long time doing in Photoshop and and that I now do in Express in seconds. It's amazing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just gives me more time to do other creative things, of course. That's fantastic. Listen, everybody, last thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to drop in a link for our Creative Campus newsletter now. this webinar series is open to all of our creative campuses. And if you want to keep up to date with all of the programs that we've got planned, so our webinars for next year, and lots of other things, our digital badging and all the different programs we've got, and there can be a lot of stuff. So to make sure you don't miss out, I would recommend that you subscribe to our Creative Campus newsletter. So I've just dropped that link into the chat there. If you haven't already subscribed, please click on it, just subscribe, and you get a monthly newsletter. It's just one per month. We don't do anything else with that. So feel free to subscribe to that. We do have another question. Do you run AI for beginners? Where can I explore this? I mean, good question. And again, I would say, yeah, we've had a whole lot of different enablements on this, Lucy. So one of the great places to start is with our digital badging. So have a look at the digital badging, and those are, like I say, they're short courses that you can do. And the great thing about them is not only are you learning that skill, but you're getting that, verified credential at the end of it as well. So that you can prove what you've learned as well. If you're putting it, for on your LinkedIn or CV, I'm not sure, if you're a student or staff, but you can, but it's going to be useful for either really. So yeah, definitely have a look at our digital badging. We will be doing more webinars next year. We'll definitely be doing more around GNAI, but just have a look online as well. I mean, and just try things out. Go to the Firefly website. So if you've got an Adobe Express license, you'll be able to go to the firefly.adobe.com website and try stuff out there. Start experimenting with prompts and just learning.
I put a couple of links in there as well, Alistair, just for the sign up to the waitlist, and just another blog site where you can read some more about text to video.
That's great. Well, thank you, everybody. Thanks for coming along today. It's got some nice comments coming in there. And yeah, I do hope that was useful. I definitely learned a lot today of stuff that I had no idea. And it's really mind-blowing, some of the things that we can do now in the video field. And it's only going to get even more mind-blowing as we go on. Next week, we have got creativity and communication for researchers on Tuesday. And then we have Adobe Podcast on Thursday. And that'll be the last two of our webinar series. So you'd be very welcome to come along to those as well. And yeah, hopefully I'll see some of you there. In the next couple of days, I'll be putting this recording up on the YouTube channel, so look out for that there. I did put the link in for the YouTube channel at the beginning, but I'll just drop it in one more time just to close off the session today. Let me put that in there.
It's just a question on how to book the sessions.
Yes, sure. So I shall pop that link in as well. There we go. So that's a link there. So you can click through to that, and that'll take you to those remaining two sessions so that you can book those. And we'll be getting up next year's sessions up in the next couple of weeks as well.
Cool.
Okay.
I look forward to seeing you at the prompting session then.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Byron, and thanks everybody for joining us today.
Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your day, everyone.